I'm here today with Reverend Tim Pollard. Today we're going to talk about the elements of a Christian ceremony. Hey Tim, how are you doing now? Good. So, Christian ceremonies are very popular, especially with people who are celebrating Christianity.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about the important parts of a Christian ceremony so people know that when they're performing or preparing for a Christian ceremony, what elements are in there so they know how to proceed.
Absolutely. First and foremost, the Christian wedding ceremony, it's not only a celebration of the couple, it's also a worship experience. It's an experience of dedication and worship to the Lord. In Christian theology and Christian tradition, it's important that we have that aspect. You might call it a sermon or a sermonette that's actually in the ceremony itself. So that's very important, the call to worship.
Okay.
Another very important part of many Christian ceremonies, not all Christian ceremonies, is the act of communion. Mm-hmm. And communion, of course, in Christian theology, being a partaking in Christ's suffering and a recognizing or aligning yourself with Christ in His suffering and so in His resurrection.
Okay.
And the couple does that as consecration of themselves as a Christian couple to the Lord. That's a very important part of many Christian ceremonies, but you'll find Christian ceremonies that don't have that aspect.
Right.
One of the most underrated or underestimated parts of a Christian ceremony is the pastoral prayer. Mm-hmm. And the pastoral prayer part of the ceremony can come in many different forms. It's in different forms in Presbyterian polity, in Baptist polity,
right,
and in different other traditions.
But for the most part, most Christian ceremonies, whether it be Baptist, Lutheran, everything, it's got the same guy, right?
Right.
You're still praying to the same
Right.
guy. So,
Right.
so most Christian couples can achieve the Christianity they want in their ceremony.
Correct.
No matter what denomination of Christianity they are.
And what's important to that is the choice of scriptures. There are scriptures that are generally chosen through all different persuasions and denominations that pertain to love and to marriage itself. Of course, at Genesis, when Adam has brought Eve, and he's pretty well impressed with her, obviously for good reason.
I've heard about that about Eve.
Yeah. She was quite
a looker.
She was quite a looker, yeah. So Adam made sure he put a ring on that real quick,
That's
so
right.
to speak.
Didn't have much choice.
Didn't have much choice, yeah.
Her the snake, but
that's right. I think she was cuter than the snake.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And also in 1 Corinthians, you have the wonderful 1 Corinthians 13, the wonderful
right,
verse about love.
Love
is
being
patient,
patient
love is
and kind,
kind,
yes.
love, endures all things, etc.
Well, now the nice thing about that is the thing about 1 Corinthians is the beginning part of it, where it talks about if you have everything but you don't have love,
Right.
then it doesn't really matter.
And that's very important, because in the Christian tradition, and in really most traditions of weddings that I've done, and I'm sure that you've done, the most important aspect of that relationship,
right,
and a ceremony is the preeminence of love. Mm-hmm. That love is more important than the actual flow and dictation excuse me, that the ceremony might take.
Exactly. Well, I think that's one thing that our company specializes in is
Right.
is being able to celebrate the love,
Right.
be able to enhance it with their belief,
Absolutely.
and not what we call OG it,
Yeah.
over God it,
Yeah.
right? Bringing in the amount that they want. Some couples want a lot of God.
They
Some
do.
couples want a little bit of God.
Mm-hmm.
Some couples want no God.
Exactly.
What our job is especially when you're doing a Christian ceremony, is
Right.
finding out, with them, in talking with them and meeting with them, what level of God they want, what
Exactly.
level of belief they want inserted into the ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not us doing the ceremony, it's their ceremony with us leading them to it.
Right. And I would agree with that. And oftentimes with Christian families that have a long-standing church tradition, but they're not getting married in the church, they're getting married elsewhere, they also have to look at the aspect of the extended family.
Right.
Mothers, fathers, grandfathers, grandmothers, and their faith and how they're going to look at the ceremony. So it's a family expression of worship and of allegiance and identification with,
Right.
with Jesus, and with God the Father.
Well, what's nice about sometimes when you're working with families, is, you got to remind the couple that it's their ceremony. That they do
Absolutely.
have to, understand what their family's needs are, but in reality, it's their ceremony, and it's going to be what they want.
Absolutely.
And most couples want to appease their families. They
Right.
want to put something in there that'll make their families happy, that'll make their families proud.
Mhm.
But all of our couples realize, and we try to help them realize, that it's their ceremony. It's their day. It's their love that they're celebrating.
It is, absolutely. And my recommendation to Christian, especially young couples who feel still the authority of the parents on them in their ceremony. And that's just natural at a certain age. My recommendation to them is to make sure that you have certain elements in the Christian ceremony. You have the call to worship.
Right.
Right? You have the scriptures that bring the importance of God into the relationship,
Right.
and what the meaning of marriage is according to biblical tradition. And then you also have, the pastoral prayer, which is going to encompass everybody who's there. It's going to recognize the sensitivities and the hopes and dreams of the couple and of the extended family. A well-written pastoral prayer. And then, of course, a benediction.
Right.
That will really close up the whole matter in a religious sense, in a Christian religious sense for the couple, and then introduce them to everybody. So those elements are really important for a Christian ceremony. It's not that important, actually, in a Christian ceremony that you have communion, believe it or not. More often, it's a unity candle.
Right.
And that's across many traditions.
Unless you're outdoors, then unity candles don't work.
Then you need a
Then
sand
we have a
ceremony.
sand ceremony.
Right, or communion, which
Right.
is useful outdoors. So, that's
One of the things at the end of it is your closing prayer.
right.
Is bringing it all together. This, understanding that it's their love, that it's their faith that keeps them together,
Right.
it's their family, and it's their hope and their dream.
Well, that's what I talk about, the written pastoral prayer at the end of really should be at the end of the ceremony.
Right.
Is going to tie all that in together and then finish it basically with a benediction. And there's different benedictions you can use from the Old Testament, from the New Testament, and from different traditions.
Exactly. And the nice thing about it is being able to bring, those feelings into it.
Absolutely.
The people who are believers in the audience get to experience that, and the people who aren't get to see something
Right.
that's beautiful without boring the heck out of them.
And one thing that's important, and a lot of Christian ministers seem to miss this, is the celebration. A Christian ceremony is a call to worship in a sense. But predominantly it's a celebration of the love of the couple, because that love by itself is a wonderful and beautiful thing in the eyes of God. And it's even an allegory of the love that Christ has for the church. But the preeminence, the most important thing happening is that love between bride and groom. And that's a very, very good thing in God's eyes. And a Christian ceremony needs to bring that out and really elevate the couple.
And what's nice about the way we do it is we do it in a way where the people sitting in the audience get to experience it rather than endure it.
Correct.
Most of the ceremonies you see with the Christian ministers, it's that guy standing up there and preaching the gospel, and everyone sitting there going, oh God, when is this going to end?
Absolutely.
But
and give me a witness.
That's right. Can I get a witness? But what's great about how we do it is we make it entertaining,
Absolutely.
but also bring it. And that's what's important. We want the guests from the ceremony to walk away going, that was great. I got some spirituality out of it. I got some entertainment. I got to see their love and through their faith.
I've always thought that a good Christian ceremony is going to have three elements running through it. Number one, you're going to have running through it the celebration of the couple.
Right.
And sometimes you need to bring in some of their background, some of the super girlfriend and super boyfriend moments in their life.
Exactly.
And weave that in times that they don't expect it. And that really brings the guest in.
And them too.
It does, absolutely. Second thing it needs to have is the actual call to worship, the idea that we are here in front of God, and we're here really celebrating God, right? And the third thing it needs to have is the authority at certain times in the ceremony, the authority of Scripture behind it, and that's done not in a demeaning way or a pounding way, a Bible pounding way, but with a firm assurance and authority when you're speaking the Scriptures. Now, those are three ways that a Christian minister can really make a Christian ceremony come
And the
alive.
fourth thing, you forgot the fourth thing, the fun.
The fun, absolutely.
The celebration, the fun, the excitement.
And that's where weaving in the story of the couple can come in, because
Exactly.
I tell my couples, make sure, and all you couples out there, make sure you don't email me something you don't want everybody to know, because it's going to get told. And it's amazing When you bring in, like I say, the super girlfriend and super boyfriend moments
Right.
that we all have. And those come in the ceremony, and it's just an amazing personalization, and it's really intimate that way. It's funny, but it's really intimate.
So you get super girlfriend, super boyfriend, super minister,
Super minister,
super wedding.
super wedding.
And that's what it's about.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
If you want to have a good Christian ceremony, a great Christian ceremony, come to greatofficiants.com. Thank you.